Okay, let's just imagine for a second. What if a culture didn't just put up with menstruation, but actually celebrated it, like saw it as this sacred, powerful event? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into. We're going to explore the Arreqqana, a people who view the menstrual cycle not as some kind of burden, but as this deep, profound connection to the cosmos itself.
And this one line, this is the absolute key. Because to bleed is to bloom. Think about that. It totally reframes a biological process that, let's be honest, is so often hidden away in shame or taboo. For the Arreqqana, bleeding is blooming. It's an unfolding, a sign of life, of power. I mean, that one single idea, it changes absolutely everything. Okay, so how does this actually work? How do the Arreqqana perceive the menstrual cycle? Well, it all starts with their philosophy of the body. And right off the bat, it begins with a different name and a completely different story.
You know, language is so powerful, right? They don't use some cold clinical term like menses. Nope. Their word is Arreqqana, and it translates to moon gift or flow gift. Just that one choice, that single word, shifts the entire perspective. It goes from being a medical thing to a spiritual one, a gift of renewal, something tied directly to the moon.
And that connection to the moon, it defines their entire understanding of the cycle. See, for them, it's not just one event. It's a journey, a whole cycle with 4 sacred phases. You have the rest moon for bleeding and quiet reflection, then the dark moon for restoring your strength. After that comes the rising moon when your energy comes back. And finally, the full moon, a time of radiance and peak strength. Every single part of that journey is honored.
So this all sounds beautiful in theory, right? But how does it actually play out in real life? Well, it all comes together in one of the most important moments in a young woman's life, her very first moon gift. Yeah, this is not something you hide, at all. It's a huge rite of passage called the Tavanara no Karunaja. And the translation, I mean, come on, it's just poetry. The unfolding into moonlight. So you see, it's not just some biological checkbox. It's treated as this celebrated, absolutely beautiful awakening.
This ceremony itself is this incredible journey through symbols. It starts with a flower water bath to cleanse her, then there's the lifting of the veil of girlhood. After she gets blessings from the community's women, she does the final and maybe the most powerful act of all. She gives her cycle its very own name. She claims the whole experience as deeply and personally hers. And listen to this. Here's the name one young woman, Valagira, chose for her cycle. The quiet fire. Wow. Because even when I bleed, I burn with silence. By doing that, by naming it, she's not just passively going through something biological. No way. She becomes this active participant, defining her own womanhood with her own words, her own power, her own poetry.
Okay, now this is where the story gets really interesting. This ceremony, this sacred space, it's almost always just for women, but there's one honored exception. A young man named Jaru was allowed to be there for Velagir's ceremony. Why? Because she had actually confided in him about it first. His presence alone is this huge testament to the trust and respect between genders in their culture.
And he wasn't just a bystander either. He was asked to speak. And his words, man, they echo her own perfectly. He says, "She is already a woman, and that woman is firelit." Chills. It just shows this deep, profound understanding of her quiet fire. What an incredible moment of honor and respect. So, as you can imagine, this ceremony changes Jaru. Seeing this sacred event isn't enough for him. He feels this deep need to truly understand it. And that feeling leads him to ask a very important question. He's filled with questions, right? But he doesn't go to his dad. Instead, he seeks out his tiava, his auntie. And that choice of who to talk to, well, it reveals pretty much everything about the social structure of the Arreqqana. He goes to her and just asks these really direct, really vulnerable questions Taiva, what is a period and why do women get them? This isn't him just being nosy or looking for a science lesson. It's a genuine search for wisdom, and it's coming from a place of real respect and this desire to connect. And her response, oh, it's just as important as his question. She says, thank you for coming to me with this, and not your father. Right away, she's affirming his choice. She's validating her role as this safe harbor for exactly this kind of sacred knowledge. So in that quiet conversation, under the glow of the moon, Giroux's understanding just deepens so much. And that private moment of learning, it's every bit as transformative for him as the public ceremony he got to witness. So that's the big question, isn't it? Why the auntie? Why is she the one who holds this knowledge for her nephew? Well, this is where we get to see this really unique and beautiful social structure they have. Their culture has this really powerful metaphor to explain it. A mother, she's seen as the sun of nourishment. She provides that direct, life-giving energy and care. But the tiava, the auntie, she's the second moon. Her job is to provide a different kind of light. It's a softer, guiding moonlight that teaches through resonance and reflection, not by giving direct orders. So the tiava is a mentor, she's a protector, a safe space for any and all questions. But maybe her most critical role is teaching her nephews about tenderness and respect. She gives them the emotional foundation they need to truly honor the women in their lives. She's their first teacher of tenderness. And this special bond, this tia-nephew relationship, it's basically the cultural engine that makes sure knowledge about womanhood is passed down to men with reverence, not with shame. It just completely dismantles the awkwardness and replaces it with educated respect. And that creates this incredible foundation of mutual understanding. And it's a two-way street, It's perfectly reciprocal. The tiava is her nephew's mirror of gentle wisdom, and in turn, the nephew becomes her continuation of legacy. He's the one who carries her teachings of respect and tenderness forward into the next generation. So when you pull back and look at the whole picture, it's so clear this isn't just about one beautiful ceremony, right? It's an entire social architecture. Celebrating Huruna Saja is woven into the very fabric of their community, thanks to roles like the tiava. It's how they make sure wisdom is shared respectfully between genders. Ultimately, the Arreqqana made a choice. They chose to tell a story about moonlight and quiet fire and shared wisdom. And it kind of leaves us with a pretty big question to think about, doesn't it? What about the stories our own cultures tell? And what could we all become if we just chose to tell them a little differently?